Welcome back to another SnowRunner news video, guys. Now, today we're going to be talking about a couple of different things that are a little bit more on the technical side and a little bit more in depth, but one of the community managers around SnowRunner actually gave some really interesting details recently in regards to things like truck sales, how many trucks you could have on a map at once, a lot of different things like that are a little bit more in depth, but definitely worth taking notice of. And there's also a new screenshot that I wanted to share with you guys and talk about in this video as well. So make sure you watch the whole thing and let's go ahead and get into it. Now, thanks to Discord user Aulio in the SnowRunner Discord, he actually posed some very interesting questions, and one of the community managers actually responded to him with some even more interesting answers. Now, his questions were, are you able to sell vehicles that you've bought and or discovered and found? And then he said, since there are a lot of vehicles, is there a limit to how many vehicles can be parked in the garage? He also asked, how many vehicles can be parked on the map, and will there be a time limit where they'll be removed? Then he asks, when you park a vehicle in the garage, will it be in the other garages as well? And then he said, please tell me the twin steer is longer than 7 meters, which the twin steer topic, they got off on a whole nother tangent about. But in regards to his first question, which was, are you able to sell vehicles that you've bought and or discovered and found throughout the map? The community manager, Jellyfish, actually responded and said, yes, you can sell any vehicle or trailer that you've bought or found. Now, that's huge because that means that the buying and selling and discovery of vehicles can directly contribute to your effectively bank account in the game, and which also directly contributes to your ability to buy new vehicles and trailers as well. So not only is there motivation to finding new vehicles behind, not only is there a discovery based motivation behind finding new vehicles, but there's also now a money-based motivation behind finding new vehicles as well. Because if you find something that you don't necessarily want to use, or you don't necessarily have a use for at that particular moment, you can sell it for cash, and then, take your cash down to the dealership or take your cash down to the trailer store and buy a new truck or buy a new trailer or buy upgrades for your current truck. I could see the act of discovering a new vehicle, selling it for cash, and then using that cash to upgrade the vehicle that you're using at the current time to complete your current round of objectives. I could see that being a very viable strategy in terms of map completion and, task completion within the map. So that's definitely something to think about in terms of, what you're actually going to be able to do with vehicle discovery and how vehicle discovery is going to benefit you in the long run, of completing a map. Now, the other question that he answered is, since there are a lot of vehicles, is there a time limit to how many you can, sorry, not a time limit. That was the next question. Is there a limit to how many that can be parked in the garage at once? He said, yes, there is a limit, but it's quite high. He says if you have every vehicle in the game, you can still add a lot more. So basically what he's saying there is you could have every in-game vehicle in your garage, and you would literally still have room to put more into it. So I think what he's saying there is that basically there's room open for either having multiple variants of the same vehicle or modded vehicles or whatever the case may be. Now, he also asked how many vehicles can be parked on the map and will there be a time limit to when they will be removed? And to that he said, currently you can park 20 vehicles on the map and there is no time limit, so they will always stay active. So basically, very, very high limit to how many vehicles you can own and park in the garage at once. And then the limit for vehicles you can have on the map at once is 20. So with that being said, that brings up a very, very, very interesting question. If you can have 20 vehicles on a map at the same time, what's to stop them from later on down the road increasing the multiplayer player cap? Because if they can support 20, and I could be completely off on this, but if they can support 20 vehicles on the same map at the same time, what's to stop them from increasing the multiplayer, limit to even 8 players? You know what I mean? Maybe maybe you could have 8 players and then just tone down the amount of trucks they can actually have on the map at once, but you could have 8 players in an online lobby. So, interesting little detail to think about there. Now, another thing is that he said, he asked, when you park a vehicle in one garage, will it be in the other garages? He said, now, he answers no, but there's another storage which is accessible from any garage. So, I think what he's basically saying here is yes, but no. But yes. So it's kind of an odd answer, and I think, like, I think a lot of these answers are not necessarily cryptic, but they answer the direct question while bringing up other questions along with the answer to the previously asked question. So they're definitely doing a really good job of keeping the player base and the fan base sort of guessing on a lot of things, and I think obviously that's good from their end because it keeps, you know, it keeps people interested in discovering more about the game, and it also helps them, you know, prevent getting all the info out, you know, right out of the gate. But I think it also kind of leaves room open for, you know, for speculation from people like me and for other people that I know that are really heavily speculating about different aspects of this game. So I think there's definitely a lot more to come in terms of discoveries and in terms of news and in terms of what they reveal. But I think there's I think for one, I'm actually very surprised that he gave the answers he did, because they haven't actually said anything about, you know, vehicle sales or anything like that in any of their, you know, blogs or articles or releases or trailers or anything like that. So the fact that he was actually willing to talk about that just right there in the SnowRunner Discord, that's huge. I mean, I didn't think he was going to talk about that at all. Now, let's also talk about the screenshot, because this is very, very important. Now, here we see 2 twin steers, and if you look closely in the middle, you'll notice a tiny little hatchback, which is the 4-wheel drive hatchback that they showed in some of their vehicle presentations, parked in between them. Now, I really, like, spent a lot of time looking at this shot, because the more I looked at it, the more I sort of found that I wanted to pick apart about it. And when I say pick apart, I don't mean, like, in a bad way. I just mean, like, literally I was looking at it and I'm like, oh, so you've got this, you've got this, you've got this, you've got this. First of all, I want to illustrate to you guys how incredibly huge those trucks are and how incredibly long they are. They're insanely long. But I also want to illustrate the fact that that weather is just, like, it's gorgeous. The snow is gorgeous. The environment's gorgeous. But this was mainly done to show the scale of these trucks by parking the hatchback in between the 2 of them. So I'm pretty sure that this is on the Alaska region, or on the Alaska map. But it also shows that they're being really, really cheeky in terms of, like, you know, what they can show. And it's like, if they want to show something, they can do it. They have the ability to, like, you know, throw, like, 2 of these twin steers, you know, one in front of the other, and then put a hatchback in between them. It's like they're playing the game right now. I mean, obviously they're playing the game right now because they're developing it and they have to play it, but it also, like I said, it goes to show that they're very, very willing to tease little things here and there about the game, you know, to keep people like me very excited. And I think, for one, it's working, but for 2, that truck, the twin steer, the huge, massively long truck, I have a feeling that that's going to be one of those trucks where it's going to be really cool to drive, and it's going to be one of those trucks where you're going to get in it and you're going to be like, oh, I could go anywhere and I could haul anything, and then you're going to get it stuck. Like, almost immediately you're going to get it stuck. Not because it's a bad truck, but because you're not going to be used to how insanely long it is, and you're going to get it into a situation to where you're like, oh, I drove into this, I should be able to back out of it, and then you put it in reverse and you're like, oh, I can't back out, and I've put myself in a situation, a really bad situation at that. So I think it's definitely going to be a truck that's going to be a little tricky to drive, and you'll definitely have to spend some time with it to get used to it. But putting it right next to that little hatchback just goes to show you, A, not exactly how small the hatchback is, but how huge the twin steer itself is. I mean, what a insanely massive truck. And after seeing the variety of loads you'll be able to carry, I can't wait to see what we'll be able to do with that. I mean, I'm sure we'll be able to throw, like, well, not necessarily sure, I can't say for sure, but I hope that we'll be able to throw a crane on the back of it. I hope we'll be able to do all sorts of different, you know, all sorts of different things with it, all sorts of different missions, and I definitely think that it's going to be one that'll be used for more of your heavy hauling, heavy loads, and I'm sure it's going to be pretty expensive. I don't think we've seen anything confirming the in-game price of that truck yet, but when I find out, I'll definitely, you know, put that out there. But I don't, like I said, I don't think we've seen any confirmations on the in-game price of that truck yet, but if I find anything, I will definitely let you guys know. Now, what I want you guys to do is I want you to let me know in the comment section below what some of your favorite things that were confirmed in this video were, and what things you're still looking to have confirmed, because I'm going to try and get as many answers as I can for you guys. Some things I can get an answer to, some things I can't yet. So, but like, as far as any questions that you guys have, definitely throw them out there in the comment section, and I'll be sure to read your comments and read your questions and answer them to the best of my ability. And if you guys enjoyed this video and you want to see more news on SnowRunner, because I try to post it as soon as I can and post it as soon as I get to it, or I can actually find, you know, the news, then let me, for one, let me know in the comments below, and for two, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you have those notifications on, and I will see y'all in the next one. Catch up with y'all next time.